Trump came out today and lifted a 90-day tariff on ground beef coming from Argentina. A tariff lift is on the first 300,000 pounds of ground beef coming in from Argentina, which is about 18 days worth of consumption, you know, on average, how much we sell in America and consume. So it is a decent little chunk, you know, that's a couple weeks worth of kill on the ground beef side. I price that beef at 25% under the market value for our, you know, domestically grown meat. And the biggest problem I see with importing meat is not only, you know, food safety. I believe American grown meat is the safest, best protein anybody consume in the world. It's a premium product. And, you know, right now the price of beef is high. I think it's a very dangerous game to import goods, you know, especially on the food side that are grown in other countries. You know, those countries do not have the same safety regulations and standards as we do in America. Just in comparison, you know, the comparison is going to be imported meat versus our American meat when they're side by side in the store. Consumers going to have to make the decision to buy domestically grown meat. Everybody 5 years ago thought that lab grown meat was going to be the next thing. And, you know, the American consumer made the choice to not eat lab grown meat. Farmer and rancher is not going to give up on the American people. You know, they're going to continue to source and grow the cleanest, safest food that they can possibly grow. So, you know, it's up to the American consumer to stand behind the rancher and farmer. You can rest assured knowing, you know, that farmers and ranchers, no matter what that beef costs, you know, they're going to do everything they can to provide the highest quality product for the people. So
right out of the gate this morning, we got an announcement from the administration about, you know, cattle, beef prices. They're going to import a bunch more box beef, ground beef, scrap cuts, that's what I call them, and hopefully bring down the price of ground beef in the store for y'all. We've seen a market crash for live cattle that people like myself grow and take to the you know, processing plants or go down through the system. That's dropped 40 cents a pound already just from that plant closure. Now this morning, the markets are crashing. But will your price change? So far, we have not seen that. We have not seen that. And at what expense to you? I'll tell you what expense to you. This is the opposite of what needs to happen. We're not going to retain heifers and build a herd when we can have, you know, the stroke of a pen drop our price to where we don't make a profit anymore. And honestly, that's where we stand. We finally begun to make a profit, and all hell breaks loose. People can't handle it, you know, I guess, because beef is high in the store. I get it, beef is high in the store. Look at what else is high in the store. Look at what's high for the rancher and the producer. Fuel, land, labor, all of it. You know, you got a $9 latte, but $7, $8, $9 a pound for ground beef is too much, right? Now you're going to get stuck with shitty ground beef. Trust me. And we won't rebuild the herd, and you're going to lose more ranchers, and in the long run, you're going to lose everything. Because where there are cattle, there is freedom. And when these disappear, so does your freedom. I don't think this is going to work out like they hoped.
Y'all notice all these cattle ranchers up in arms today? They are suddenly mad because the beef market has dropped since Trump is talking about some Argentinian beef. Oh, now they're upset. Now they want to talk about save the American farmer, right? See, this is what happens when racism runs the economy instead of logic. They voted for a man who sold them a fantasy that their white skin was going to be economic policy, and that somehow legislating harm and voting for harm towards black, brown, and immigrant communities was going to bring back the good old days, right? When America was great. But here's the gag. Capitalism don't love y'all either, boo-boo. See, Trump is not loyal to the American farmers like y'all thought he was. He is loyal to profit margins. What happened to all that? Oh, he's a businessman. He's a businessman. Y'all were excited about that. And if it's cheaper to import beef from Argentina than to pay y'all's fair rate in Texas, Kansas, Ohio, wherever, then baby, he's gonna sign and seal that deal and watch y'all's family farm fold like a cheap lawn chair at the county fair. See, they thought voting for Trump meant putting others back in their place. All they did was put themselves in a chokehold of their own making. Because, hey, when you vote for oppression, baby, you don't get to choose who gets crushed first. That ain't how that works. See, that's what I mean when I say racism is expensive. It costs the worker, it costs the farmer, it costs the nation. See, they didn't realize they were sacrificing their own economy to feed their hatred. And now they're on here crying about losing markets, losing subsidies, losing land. And I can't even muster up a tear. Where was all this worry when it was our communities losing everything? So to all the Make America Great Again farmers, baby, welcome to the America you built. The America you voted for. America where greed don't know color and baby loyalty don't pay. Cause Trump ain't y'all savior, baby. He's your landlord. Oh.
MAGA farmers and ranchers were promised that Trump would put American agriculture first, but for many of them, the reality has been painfully different. From lost soybean markets, rising farm costs, and now pressure from cheap imported beef, many are now asking whether this was all about putting Americans first or American last. So let's have a look.
The latest thing the government is going to tell you you have to accept, here it is. You're going to eat foreign ground beef and you're going to like it. And they're telling you that it's going to lower beef prices. You talk about America last. That's about as America last as you can get. When the President of the United States is undercutting our own ranchers, our own beef farmers, Americans who are trying to raise their cattle under the smallest herds since 1951, trying to raise their cattle under a New World screwworm threat. And now they're having to compete against foreign countries who have been guaranteed by the president that it's 25% less than the market price. This is outrageous. Republicans were elected in 2024 for one reason, and it was for Make America Great Again. And the key word in that 4-word statement is America. That means Americans, and that includes American ranchers. That includes the food that we eat. Remember MAGA, Make America Healthy Again? Well, let me tell you something. People like me that very much believe in that message and support our farmers and ranchers, we want to eat beef that's grown right here at home. We want our farmers and ranchers to be able to sustain themselves and their herds and feed their families. And we very much care about the fact that food that is being imported in our country, we care about where it's from. We want to know the conditions it was raised in, what it was fed, what chemicals, what type of antibiotics, and how it was processed. I literally cannot get over the fact that people sit here and defend this stuff. You know, if you care about our country, then you care about our farmers and you care about our ranchers, and you very much want them to be successful. But government intervention like this, subsidizing foreign beef imports, is one of the most repulsive things that I've seen out of this administration, and I cannot believe it.
I'm not sure about the rest of you, but as a cattle farmer, cattle producer, or cattle rancher, whatever title you want to give us, I can't believe that President Trump and Secretary Rollins just kicked us in the teeth yesterday by saying that they're going to import foreign beef here into the United States. This plan that he's actually talking about, you can go and look for yourself. The Cattlemen Association at the national level, every state is coming out totally against it. And it's 100% because it's not going to have any real effect on prices of beef in the grocery store. The reality of it is the packers control everything. Until we address the 4 packers and how they control everything, we're doing absolutely nothing. Mr. President, your decision is going to run ranchers like myself and others. We don't make any difference. We big or small. You're going to run us out of business, and we will never, ever be able to rebuild the herd. Right now, as everyone knows, the herd is the smallest it's ever been. But with this action for the next 90 days, what it's doing is pushing down the price of beef that we sell to the sale barn that ultimately goes to your table. This action that the president is doing is not doing anything to help the American people. He thinks it is. I wish he would listen to the Cattlemen Association and others that understand agriculture, because the reality of it is right now, what this is happening to us is straight up bullshit. There's no other way to do it. So I just want to clearly put out there, I'm totally against it. I'm going to fight every day for our farmers, fight every day for our ranchers, because somebody got to get to DC that understand agriculture and going to stand with agriculture. Because right now, if we continue on this path, we're going to run agriculture and run cattlemen completely out of business.
Oh, farmers and cattlemen, we don't feel sorry for you. We like you. We Democrats love farmers and cattlemen. But you guys keep voting against yourselves. You are workers. You aren't owners. You aren't multi-million-dollar corporate owners. You guys are hard workers. And you know who benefits with workers are Democrats. Yeah, that's how that works, okay? But you guys keep voting for the red side, the Republican side. And you know what they do for you? Nothing. Year after year after year after year after year, they don't do anything for you. So why do you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again? And then when the Republican Party does something horrible to you, you come on platforms and go, oh, poor us, poor us. No kidding. We keep telling you and you keep doing the wrong thing. So sorry if there's no sympathy here, but it's kind of hard when you guys keep doing it to yourselves.
This is a quick reality check, okay? What the Trump administration just did with the importation of beef is good for them politically and bad for American ranchers, okay? You're not going to see a lot of ranchers coming out and saying, no, we want this beef from other places. It defeats the purpose of what the tariffs were supposed to be about, and it shows that this is just about political expedience, okay? And it's going to make beef ultimately more expensive. Why? Because you can't play with markets like this. So you say you're putting on tariffs to protect us, and we got to deal with the short-term problems. Prices start going up. Now you want to remove the tariffs because you don't want to deal with the short-term problems, Mr. Trump. You want to get an easy little quick exit for yourself. And you're going to do it at the cost of American ranchers who you say you care about most. Look, the American people are right about what's wrong. We have to do something about prices. He is doing the opposite. Period. Anyone saying anything else? Bullshit.
Stop buying beef immediately. Whatever beef you have left, go ahead, eat it. Eat it over the next couple of weeks. Stop buying beef immediately. These people want to fuck with everybody. Do it right back at them. Everything that they throw at you, throw 10 times as much back in their face. Trump and the administration got around a rule about slaughtering wild horses. And they are slaughtering wild horses. Read all the stories. They started this past week. Wild horses, through some loopholes. Part of it is sending them overseas and having them slaughtered over there and then processed and then sent back here. And I mean, it sounds like they're going to try to make us all believe that we're buying beef when we're really buying horse meat too. This is not an exaggeration, okay? I'm not going to go over all the news stories, it's out there. It is out there, and this is Trump's administration's doing, and all we've got to do is stop eating beef. Even if it's just for a few weeks. These farmers all voted for Trump. This is what they get. These cattle ranchers, this is what they get. They all voted for Trump. They all voted for this. Stop buying beef. And this is not cancel culture bullshit. Stop buying beef. Buy chicken, buy fish, eat pasta, have turkey meatballs. Stop buying beef and watch what happens. We have the power. And we have more power in November and thereafter. Stop eating beef.
How do you tell the difference between beef and horse meat? I feel like now's a good time for us to be well informed so that we know what we're purchasing, or if we can't tell by appearance, we know what we're eating by taste and texture. Now, when I'm comparing these two types of meat, I'm not referring to grass-fed beef. I'm referring to store-bought beef. Now, with color, store-bought beef, it's going to be a brighter red. Sometimes the red might be a little dull in color, but the horse meat will be a darker red, a dark, deep red. And with the horse meat, it's leaner. There's not as much fat. The fat will look different. If there is fat or marbling, it'll be more of a yellowish color. Whereas with the store-bought beef, there's more fat, more marbling, and it's white in color. Horse meat could be dyed to make look a little brighter red in color, but you will be able to tell by taste and texture. Okay, the differences are there. We know what beef tastes like, whether it's ground beef or whether it's a nice ribeye, right? It's juicy, savory, flavorful. It's got a higher fat content. Even the lean cuts of beef, and we're talking about store-bought beef, don't forget. Now, with horse meat, it's more lean, it's dense, it's got like a tighter texture. It dries out super quick because of the low fat content, right? And it also is sometimes can taste gamey, but it will taste sweet. It has a bit of sweetness to the flavor. Now, for those who don't know, horse meat is actually common in places like France and Italy and Japan. Obviously, it's taboo here. Let me show you a few pictures to show you the differences in what the meat looks like. And I think the only problem people are going to have when it comes to appearance, especially, is trying to tell the difference between grass-fed and horse meat. If things are mislabeled, right? If horse meat's labeled as beef. Now this is horse meat, but it's not always this noticeable. Have you ever seen beef that looks like this recently? This is also horse meat. It's all dark red, but if it was labeled steak tips, would you think twice? Now here is a side-by-side of ground beef and grass-fed beef, just for comparison, because grass-fed beef does look dark in color too. So I hope that information was helpful for you, and I will keep you updated on all of these things.
Many farmers and ranchers overwhelmingly voted for Trump, hoping he would be their savior. They were told that his policies would protect American agriculture, strengthen rural communities, bring back American jobs, and put American producers first. But they have been facing problems after problems. Take American soybean farmers. China has been one of the main buyers of American soybeans for long, but Trump's trade wars and tariffs ruined that relationship, and China retaliated by looking for other markets like Brazil and Argentina. But farmers were warned about Trump's trade wars and the tariffs. They were told that they would lose export markets, but many dismissed those warnings. They believed Trump would somehow win the trade war and force other countries to give America better deals. Then there are the rising cost of running farms. Farmers need diesel, fertilizer, tractors, machineries, and transportation. But when energy and input costs rise, farming becomes more expensive before a farmer even sells a single bushel of grain. Also, importing cheaper beef puts additional pressure on the price of American cattle. Ranchers have to pay for feed, pay for fuel, maintain equipment, and care for livestock, pay labor costs, and countless other expenses. That's why they are becoming angry. But the problem with rural American voters is that they vote based on identity, culture wars, or fear and anger. And that's how they vote for policies that affect their own economic interest, voting against their own interest. Farmers should be among the most demanding people in America because their livelihoods are directly affected by government policy. They should question politicians and understand how their tariffs and their policies affect their markets. Because at the end of it all, it's the farmers who bear the economic cost of harmful policies and not the politicians. So thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Have a good one. I'll see you in the next video.